Do you think they came to see Wings, or did they come to see Paul McCartney ex-Beatle?
I think there's a bit of both, you know, when they first come, but I think they go away having seen Wings.
I was very surprised at the age of the, you know, some of the fans.
How old were they?
I interviewed some that were 12 years old, 13 years old. They could not have possibly known the, you know, the Beatles during the heyday.
Come on, 12-year-olds, keep coming.
Do you think that Wings is finally gaining acceptance as a group on its own?
Seems to be, yeah.
You know, you're also, it seems, just from the outside, gaining acceptance on that.
It's about time, isn't it?
How did you deal with the resentment? I mean, you're an artist, a sensitive person.
I took it in my stride, if you want to know the truth. I didn't mind it because I was just beginning, so I was spending more time learning the piano than I was reading my press clippings. So, you know, it's always good, a bit of criticism if you like that kind of thing.
Do you? No.
Not particularly, but you know.
It must be a lot more fun to be accepted by...
Well, I'm having a good time in the group, I must say. This tour has been so much fun, especially on stage. Right, honey?
Right, honey.
Oh, it's a very nice family picture. That brings up another...
Thanks, Fred. He's good, this boy. Have you seen him? Go on.
Usually, in a rock and roll context, the old man goes on the road and the old lady stays home, as they say.
Well, this is it, man. 76. Time for a change.
How do you raise normal children in that kind of atmosphere?
Well, I don't know how you raise normal children in any kind of atmosphere, you know, really. I mean, but we just try our best, you know, and they seem pretty normal to me.
Like, what do you want to be doing 5 years from now?
I used to, when I was about 18, I'd kind of look at these 25-year-old fellas and think, oh, dear me, past it, you know. 25, can't get much older than that, can you? And, of course, when you get to 25, you see 30 as that one. And then when you get to 30, you see 35 as that one. When you get to 34, which I can't believe it myself. I mean, you know, it's what I almost am.
Time marches on.
It's right, Linda. Oh, it's very right. Very significant. Very significant.
Are you surprised at the amount of straight press coverage the tour has gotten?
No, Freddie. Not really.
I thought it was Tony.
Tony.
Oh, Tony. Oh, I've seen it. Oh, you yellow ribbon.
You know my son.
Good. I love it.
We watched your show. You're looking good.
I've seen you.
You're looking better than you're looking, Tony.
You know, straight press coverage of your tour.
What about it?
Were you surprised by the amount? I mean, it's really extraordinary. I mean, the front page of all the magazines.
It sort of started with that thing of, here he is, an ex-Beatle. 10 years later, he's coming to play America. Which, funnily enough, I didn't even think about. You know, I didn't realize it was 10 years since I'd played with the Beatles. I just kind of thought I was coming on tour. So, I think that's sort of what's done it.
All right. We'll have more of their concert, their interview. We'll meet the rest of the group. All coming up right after this. Because I was, thank you, thanks. No results, instead. Because I was such a total Beatles person, I always resented even the idea of Wings. But after 5 albums and a very great concert in Seattle, I must admit that it really is a very good band and it makes really good music. Here's more music from Paul and Linda, Denny, Joe, and Jimmy. Feel overshadowed at all by Paul's presence?
Of course I bloody do. No, you know, I mean, I've got my thing that I'm developing within the band. Right
writing a few songs every now and then, you know. This next album we hope to even it out a bit more.
So you think Wings will stay an integral group?
Well, yeah, we only just started, man. You know, this is the first whatever seater it was tonight. I mean, this is the first big auditorium that we've done like this.
Big is an understatement.
Yeah, true.
Jimmy, how old are you? Do you mind if I ask you that?
Well, I was 23 last week.
23. And how long have you been in this crazy business?
Professionally? Well, I've turned professional when I was 15. I've been playing for 4 years before that. I started when I was about 11, I think.
I want to ask you the same question I asked Denny about Paul's presence. Do you ever feel overshadowed by it? Do you ever feel like you're like a backup instead of an equal in the band?
No, I think, you got to get out there and be an individual and say, right, I'm going to show them what I can do. And then, like, when you get a chance to do your songs or whatever, or play your solos, then you just, like,
I mean, this
get in
band's
there.
like any other band when it gets down to the band. Forget the audience and the public and all the rest of it. You know, I mean,
Yeah, we all work together.
if there's any problems, everybody has their say, you know.
From the outside, a lot of people think that you sort of take the back seat, but it's a lot of freedom in the studio, on stage. It's a good situation to be in.
Camera 1. Camera 2.
Okay, focus.
Quiet, please. Sort of quiet.
In the auditorium, please.
Listen, before we start again, we hear the Fonz is on your show, and we just want to say...
Are you still friendly with your 3 former partners?
Yes.
Really, to tell the truth. Do you see them often?
Yes, I do. I do, Michael. Well, I don't see them that often, actually, but I'm very friendly with them when I do see them. But we're living at different parts of the globe. Ringo tends to hang out in Los Angeles. John tends to hang out in New York. And George is kind of between there and London. And I'm often in kind of London or Scotland, so we don't, when we go to New York, we see John and vice versa.
It hasn't always been that way in the past decade, has it? I mean, isn't it much more comfortable now that you are friendly?
There was a period, when there was kind of a lot of business troubles, and we had a lot of squabbling and everyone was a bit bitchy towards one another, That certainly did go on, Geraldo.
But it's past.
But the animosity has subsided.
Does that mean, my next obligatory question, that there's any chance...
Wait, what?
I'll let Linda ask.
Is there any chance of the Beatles reunion?
Is it just for one show?
Just for one little
Beatles?
Well, Linda, I'd like to answer you sincerely now, but I can't. No, as far as that's all concerned, it's really a question. If anything really turns up that the 4 of us really want to do, then there's some kind of possibility that something might happen. But, for now, it's a probably no-no.
Do you think that the Beatles could follow an act like tonight's?
Yes.
Yeah, if we were going to do it, we could do it. If we were going to do it, we would do it. But the main thing that you sort of have to remember, is that you have to be hot to do a thing. You've got to want to do a thing. I mean, here's a lawyer, this gentleman here, an ex-lawyer turned TV personality, Freddie Prinze. I know him anyway. Now, in your case, you see, you had to be keen to be a TV thing, or else you just wouldn't have come into it. And our thing is that we have to be keen to do anything with the 4 of us as the Beatles again. And that means really kind of keen, not just kind of some fella offers and we all come together for the money. That's not where it's at.
Do you feel any kind of, I guess resentment is much too strong a word, but any kind of hesitation about the fact that you will always, in all probability, be identified as a former Beatle?
No, I don't mind it. I'm always going to be identified by my real name, also Paul McCartney. But that doesn't bother me. And ex-Beatle is another kind of tag, which doesn't bother me. I'm proud of what I'd done.